Good morning, class. By now, I hope that you feel pretty comfortable estimating square roots, and I hope that you're able to compare it with others. Make sure you do today's Khan Academy assignments. Today's Khan Academy assignments are going to be comparing irrational numbers without a calculator. If you've printed this off, which I hope you have, you'll see that that's on the list for today, for Tuesday. Happy Hump Day, by the way. You made it halfway through the week. Okay, so now I'm going to give you a heads up for what we're going to be covering the rest of this week, because this is a little bit trickier. You're going to be solving equations that have a variable squared. You can look right here and see we have k squared equals 76. Some number when you square it equals 76. And over here, some number squared equals 16. We're going to start on the right side because it's a little bit easier. Okay, what number squared equals 16? 16 is a perfect square, so that means what? That means it was a whole number that we squared. Does anybody know what it is? It was 4. It was 4. Okay? The first perfect squares are 1, 4, 9, 16, and 25. 1, 2, I can't count. That's 5. The first 5 perfect squares, sorry. That's 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4, 5 times 5. Okay, so how do we undo a square? We take the square root. So to undo this k squared, we take the square root, and they cancel each other out. We're just left with k. And then when I take the square root of the opposite side, the square root of 16, yes, we're writing it out, is the answer. That's the answer. But we just happen to know we can simplify the square root of 16 in our heads. It is 4. Square root of 16 is 4. So that's the answer. Guys, hang on till the end of the video, because this is not the only answer. And we're going to talk about that at the end of the video. Okay? So there are 2 answers to something that is squared. That power of 2 gives you an idea of how many solutions there's going to be. All right, so on this side, we have a number that's not a perfect square. So how do we do that? Well, we use the options that we've been doing lately. We'll just use the method of approximating it. So right here, we can take the square root of that side and the square root of the other side, and we end up with k equals the square root of 76. And like I said, there is another answer, but we're going to wait till the end to find both answers. All right, so k equals the square root of 76. 76, do you know a perfect square that is close to 76? You only have to recognize one of them. And I'm thinking of 81. I know that 81 is 9 squared. Oops, we do better than that. 81 is 9 squared. There we go. So since that's close to 81, that's really close to 81. So I know that this is going to be sandwiched in between 8 and 9. So the square root of 76 is going to be, let's pick another color, sandwiched between 9 on this side and 8 on the other side. 8 squared is, what's 8 squared? 8 squared is 64. So we have 64. Oh, it's not changing. I don't know why. Here we go. 64 Thanks for your patience here. is how far away from 76? And then we have 76, and then we have 81. Okay, so 64, from 64 to 81 is how long? Okay, we're just going to subtract. 81 minus 64, going to have to borrow 1 there. So 4 minus 11 is 7. And then 7 minus 6 is 1. So it's 17, a distance of 17 from here to there. And then, what is the distance from 76 to, from 64 to 76? That distance there, how much is that? Well, 6 minus 4 is 2. And 7 minus 6 is 1. So if we can reduce the fraction, 12 divided by 17, using long division, that'll give us an approximate answer. And that will tell us what to add to 8 to get this approximate number. Okay, now remember at the beginning, I'm starting to run out of time, sorry. The beginning of the video, we saw that the answer to this, one of the answers was 4, right? And the answers to this was, here, let me look here, was 8.7. Okay. See what I did there? All right, so the answer to this one over here is 8.7, approximately. But that's not the only answer. Okay. So, and the answer to this one, number 4, what would you say that is? What number squared equals 4? It's 2, right? So, this is just, anytime you square a number, it's going to have to be positive. So if I have, unless it's imaginary, 4 times 4 is 16, but also negative 4 times negative 4 is also positive 16, right? Because a negative times negative equals a positive. So the answer is not just 4, but it's also going to be negative 4. The answer here is not just 8.7, but it's also negative 8.7. So the shorthand way of doing that is just to write plus and minus 8.7. And here it's not just 2, but negative 2 times negative 2 is also positive 4. Okay? We're going to talk later this week about what to do when it's not just a variable squared equals a number. And we're going to solve it. And sometimes the positive and negative answers are not the same. Sometimes they could both be positive, sometimes they can both be negative. But the key is that if you have a number squared, which is quadratic, you have both a positive and negative answer. You guys have a great day. If you don't understand this yet, that's okay. It's just an introduction. And we'll really dive in for you guys practicing this tomorrow. Yep. Guys, have fun today. Make sure you do something interesting. Bye.